Are you ready to stop searching outside yourself and deepen the connection that matters the most?
Welcome to the Sacred Exchange podcast. We are your hosts, John and Catherine Graham.
After years of navigating our own spiritual paths, we have learned that true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the honest and vulnerable moments when we are willing to journey within with a curious mind and heart.
Every week, we invite you to journey with us as we share our spiritual ahas, our raw truth, and deepen our understanding of the human experience.
This is a space of vulnerability and healing, where souls meet, hearts transform, and love leads the way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sacred Exchange, where today we're going to be talking about how not to be serious in your life and just get curious.
And always stay curious, right?
Yeah.
And before we get started, we did have a little bit of a conversation about taking a break.
Yes.
Just for the summer.
Yeah.
Because there's lots going on and we don't, we want to make sure that we're showing up.
Yeah.
And being here, and just with the busy schedules and whatnot,
yes,
it's going to become a little more difficult.
So this is the last episode of season 2, and we'll be returning in September with a brand new season of the Sacred Exchange and see where it takes us from there. Yeah. And it's one of those energies where I know last summer we also took a break.
Yeah.
And it was about a 7-week break, and it just seemed to give us lots of
supercharged
and lots of ideas of what we could bring back to the table to share. And I'm hoping that as we take this break again this year, that it'll be that same idea.
Absolutely. I trust that it will. And it's just, that re-energize, and the sun helps with that, right? Getting out, being out. And thank you for watching, and those of you that have taken something away from our chats. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I hope that you're grateful as well.
Yes.
So let's dig into this. You wanted to do this topic.
Yes, about not being so serious, because, and here's the thing, I was such a serious person about life. Mm-hmm. And the more healing I do and the more I experience in life, the more I'm like, God, it does not have to be this serious.
Yeah.
Like, there's room for fun, there's room for play, and there's a room for this curiosity. And I think that's really what I want to explore more today, is just around the curiosity of life.
Yeah.
And in that, it breaks you away from the seriousness, because then there's not a defined answer for anything, right? But we can stay curious, which allows us to connect in with that inner child and that playful energy.
Yeah, and it goes back to that, you have a choice, right?
Yeah.
You can be serious about life. There's nothing wrong with being serious.
Yeah.
But you have a choice to, not be so serious about it.
Yeah.
And we look at things in different times of, I have to be serious. You have a choice. Mm. You don't have to be serious. Sure, you have to act on whatever is a serious matter.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You don't have to fully absorb it, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think, for myself, when I was really serious about life, everything was kind of life or death.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, I need to figure out the answer here or else.
Yeah.
And there was always this big or else. And of course my mind went to the worst case scenarios and stuff. And I wasn't getting curious about things. I had defined answers in my mind that I was like, if this doesn't happen, this worst case scenario will happen.
Yeah.
Right? And it's been in the letting go of that and allowing myself to get curious. Even to just go, maybe I don't need to do anything right now. Maybe I just need to see how this plays out. What does that look like? And it's such a breath of relief.
And that's the great thing about that, right? Is when you get to a certain level, certain point in your life and whatnot, and talking about taking things serious, because I remember being in the same way, right? It's like, oh, if I don't do this, the world is going to end.
Yeah.
If I don't talk properly, if I don't
If I mess up
handle
my
every
words.
situation perfectly,
Yeah.
life as we know it is going to end.
Yeah. And it does feel like that in the body, right? Like,
But we choose that,
Yes,
right?
we
This is what I'm
absolutely
going
do.
back to is we absolutely have a choice to believe that.
yeah.
To go,
Yeah.
this is the end, or we can get curious and go, well, what if this doesn't?
Yeah.
What if this is just me
Yeah.
manifesting or building this big end of the world situation? And 9 times out of 10, it usually is. It just, but we choose that. We don't. It's not like it comes to us.
Yeah, well, and I think it's like a very unconscious choice for
It
people,
is.
right? And it's only when you start to recognize, oh, I have this pattern of going to the worst case scenario, or I have this pattern of believing I need to be perfect in order for everything to stay okay, or I have this pattern of just taking responsibility for all these things that aren't mine, and then we start to separate ourselves from it. That's when we see that we have a choice.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we don't see that we even have a choice, right? It's like, this is my default function. This is the only way I know how to move. And so I think it's important for us all to recognize if there's like these patterns that just keep showing up, if you can slow it down just enough to go, where is it that I step into this pattern? You know?
And that's kind of what I remember starting to do this, where it was like, and I call it just the shift of perspective, right? Where it was like, okay, I've done it this way,
Yeah.
but now I want to do it kind of like from a different. Let me see this a little different. Let me just do it, a little bit differently here or a little bit differently there, and just see what happens.
Yes. And that to me is that curiosity, right? Where it's like, so if I know I've reacted with anger, to this scenario,
Yeah.
what if I shifted a little bit and instead of reacting with anger, I ask them a question to understand a little bit differently, right? And what kind of outcome will that bring? And it's in that curiosity that I think that we get to really see just how much more expansive life can be, and also how much more fun life can be.
Yeah. So a lot of that stress that we feel by this do or die type scenario falls away, right? It's like, okay, this is just an experience. This is just a different experience. And nothing, like, there is no good, bad. It just is just another piece, another thing. There is no perfect whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I remember like when we actually started this podcast, I was very serious about it.
Yes.
Right? I was very like, this is what we have to do. We have to speak like this. Like, I was basing it on things that I knew from my past to go, this is how we have to show up. And it got frustrating at different times and triggering at different times and all of this sort of stuff. And it was only when I finally was like, okay, let's just not be serious about it. Let me look at you when I'm speaking to you. Let me, just be in a flow and not care so much about the result. And then I was able to step more into curiosity. Like, I wonder, what can this become instead of it has to look this way.
Yeah, because, when we first started doing our podcast, we had not a script, but we had a topic and we had all these bullet points and we had all this we're going to do this, and this.
Yeah.
And we kind of set ourselves up, right? Where it's like, oh, well, we didn't do this or we didn't do that.
Yeah. You try and get it all covered, and it wasn't authentic.
Yeah.
Right? The authentic piece seemed to be happening before we were recording.
Right.
And then we'd get on recording and we'd be like these kind of robots trying to remember the authenticity and bring that back online. But it was a performance, right? And so we had to both let go of that seriousness of it and just go, okay, let's just relax into this.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for all aspects of life, whether you're having a family or starting a relationship or starting a new job or all of these things that come with like this kind of external pressure, or what we call external pressure, but really it's just our internal voice that's causing it to be external pressure. But all of these things that cause this pressure, if you can allow yourself to just be curious, like, what would it look like? what's possible here.
Yeah.
You know, and just allowing yourself to fall. I guess it is following that flow. And,
go with the flow, baby.
Yeah, being curious, where
Yeah.
does the flow take me? And if I express this way, what does that bring forward? And giving yourself an opportunity to almost experiment within your own life. What works for you? What doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, holding on to that like script of, and I guess using our podcast just as life, if you're going on a script of what the past, what your parents, what society expects, and I think this is how we get stressed and anxiety and stuff, is we're supposed to follow this perfect pattern that everybody has done and do. And once you let go of that, just like our podcast, it just flows.
Yeah.
It flows, and it's just so much easier just to even breathe and enjoy every moment.
Yeah. Well, and you can be in the moment then, right? You're not dictated off of something that's already happened.
Yeah.
Which just allows you to be more arriving in the moment, and also to discover who you are in that moment as well. Because I think that's the other thing, is we get so defined by who we think we are and what we've been told that we are, that sometimes we end up missing out on opportunities that are so perfect for our growth,
Yeah.
so perfect for our connections and how we're going to show up in the world, and we can bypass it so easily by going, I'm not that thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I could be.
And again, it goes back to that choice, right? Is
Yeah.
we can follow.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I wanted to say was, when you feel like you were in that life or death, just remember, plenty of people have done this and before, and plenty of people will do this after.
Yeah.
But you have not the opportunity to kind of tailor your experience.
Yeah.
Right? You can be the same as Joe, or you can be the same as whoever. You can be the same as this or that. You can do whatever, but choose that. Don't just follow the same pattern that is continually played out.
Yeah.
And if you see the patterns playing out in your life, I always do this this way. That's a good opportunity to look at it and go, okay, how can I change this?
Yeah. Well, isn't it interesting too that we often will feel stuck, and we'll feel like, life is too boring, or I don't have anything exciting that happens in my life and all this sort of stuff. But it's only because we just keep making the exact same choice as what we made yesterday that keeps us stuck. The very moment that we make just a slightly different choice. Like if I sat here today and you sat where I'm sitting today, like how different would everything go simply because we're sitting in a different spot.
Yeah.
Right?
We should do that.
We cannot. Don't care. But it's the tiniest of choices that we make that are just slightly different. They can alter everything. It's the whole butterfly effect.
Absolutely.
And we can unstuck ourselves, or unstick ourselves, I guess is probably a better word for it, from whatever kind of boringness that we think is happening in life by just keeping that open mind, being curious to what else is available to us, and also what else we can express from ourselves.
Well, and here's a great thing you just said is we downplay our existence so much. We are limitless.
Yes.
We are limitless beings. And if you don't believe me, test it out for yourself. Change your experience and change the way you're doing things. You'll start to see that everything is there and available.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to be curious about, okay, I want to try this differently, or I want to do this differently. You have to be brave. You have to, maybe you just kind of have to let go of everything else that's around you. This is your experience. It's not your experience. It's not their experience. This is my experience.
Yeah.
And I can do whatever within that construct.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so interesting to me because I love manifesting. I love talking about our purpose here and manifesting and being co-creators in this world and all of that. And yet last year when you started saying to me, you are limitless, right? And I had a lot of fear and stuff that was coming up around my book and whatnot. And you would look at me and go, you are limitless. And then he'd have me say, I am limitless. And I couldn't say it without shutting my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I could not keep my eyes open. And you did it on the kids as well.
Yeah.
And the kids also were closing their eyes. Like we could not say the statement, I am limitless, without that eye closure. And it took practice for me to be able to say it. And now I'm consciously going, I'm not going to close my eyes while I'm saying this.
So it's not a matter of you closing your eyes. That's the doubt creeping in.
Yes, I know.
Limitless, right?
Yes.
And that's why I kept saying is no.
Yes.
I'm going to say this until you actually believe it.
Yes. And it took a while for me to really, truly believe I am limitless. And I bring this up because I think so many of us get so caught up in the fear and in the doubt. And so even hearing you are limitless, you can go, yeah, okay, I'm limitless. But if there's just one tiny part of you that doesn't believe it, that one tiny part can just dismantle the entire limitlessness.
They're saying the words and feeling it and being it, right?
Yes.
And that's what I try to emulate is like, I can't even say try. This is what I am emulating is the possibilities of my limitless experience.
Yeah.
And I can show other people that, hey, this is possible. I'm going to show people this is possible so then they can take that journey as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, to me, that's what it's all about. It's why I'll continue to look at my fear and step over my fear, is to just show other people, hey, this is possible, right? That we are limitless beings. And also I can really fully feel more of my limitlessness now than what I could say last year when we first started having those conversations about it. So you're emanating it is working.
But and you feel it, right? You start to see it. You start to go, wow, I am.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I've done manifesting for so long, but I've never done it from a point of view of I'm limitless. But I did feel, you go through these spurts of like, I am this creator in my life and I'm creating the life that I want and everything else. Again, not from the lens of I am limitless, more I am the creator and I am co-creating or whatever. But then I would go into these big pieces of doubt depending on what results were showing up and what results aren't showing up or whatnot. And that's where I would become limited, right? Because then if the results aren't showing up, then you have the doubt that shows up and whatnot.
So I have a little bit of a different approach because I do believe there is merit in manifesting, but I'm kind of trying to look at it like a different way where it's like I am this limitless being and I'm creating it, but I'm creating it by the openness that allows the flow of that energy to go wherever it needs to go. So there's no experience that I'm going to say no to because that could be the best experience or that could be this different thing.
And that's that curious mind, right?
Absolutely. And so it's a little bit different than manifesting because I'm not focusing on, okay, I'm this. I know what's out there. I know what's out in the ether, whatever experience that needs to come here. But the only way that it's coming here is if I have the proper construct or whatever to have it appear for me. So I have to be limitless or I'm limited to the experience that I'm going to have. And I'd rather have a whole bag full of experiences than a limited experience.
Absolutely. I think when I first started like really stepping into manifestation and stuff, I was doing it from this lens of I'm the one who's calling this in and making this happen and whatnot, and I have to get to this thing or I have to reach this vision, which is all well and good. But where you're coming from now, where it's like I'm just saying yes to things, and I'm also going, okay, I accept this. I know what my vision is. I know what it is that I am wanting to move towards, where my excitement is. And if I don't accept everything that's showing up in my reality right now, I'm only putting in blocks to what this vision is, because I don't know how I need to change or what capacity I need to be in order to get to that thing. But I can trust that the universe is only bringing things in that are going to help me get to that thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the key thing, is that trust, is the faith that this is all meant for some purpose. And sure, you may get to, a non-preferable situation, but past that could be something really, really great.
Yeah.
And usually is, right? So, that's what, if you don't judge that experience, just take that experience in, whatever it is. And I know it's hard. I know it's extremely hard. There's some definitely challenges in life.
Yeah.
But we can make it easier. We can choose to make it easier than what it is.
Well, I think as long as we're just willing to accept the fact that life is not always going to be exactly what we want, right? Like, so we don't have to be in resistance to anything that shows up. There's the preferred, there's the non-preferred. When the non-preferred shows up, if I get really angry or shut down or like want to push this away or whatever, and I've done it, and I had to get curious, is there a better way to react to this than the way that I've been reacting to it? When I can just go, okay, so this is showing up right now for a reason. I don't always need to understand the reason, but it is always opportunities for me to stretch in my own capacity or in my own growth, or use it as an opportunity to learn, which to me is like, thank you, universe, for bringing this into my privy, because now I'm expanding in this way, and I'm going to get back to whatever this vision is that I'm working towards.
Yeah, and I think that's great, is those challenges are, we don't typically, and I say we, and I'm generalizing humanity, we don't typically go, hey, thank you for, me going bankrupt, or thank you for me losing my job or whatever. But we really should, because it's in those moments, like, there's a lot of things that are going on, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shifting. You really, when you hit these big things, you really dig deep within yourself.
Yeah.
You're getting closer to that enlightened peace.
Yeah.
And, this thing happens, and then, okay, life gets better, and you forget about that. But we don't really give that, hey, thank you for totally destroying me.
Yeah.
And breaking me down to this ground level where I had nowhere to go. I had nothing else. I had to look in the mirror, and I had to see who I was.
Yeah.
We don't do that, though, and we really should, because it's at that point where you can start building from a different level.
Yeah. And
start getting more and more curious of how things can change, because this is where I was.
Yeah.
And this is where I am. And
yeah. Well, and I think too, like when you talk about, all these parts of you that are on, or all of these things that are all breaking apart, it is so hard to lose all of these identities of yourself. We've gone through so many experiences together as a couple where it was like what we thought we were going to have. And like, understand, when we got together, he was coming out of a messy divorce, or in the middle of a messy divorce. I was in the middle of a divorce. Both of us were like financially hitting walls. There's bankruptcies that were going to be coming and whatnot. Like, it was just a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Mix in 6 kids, and it was just a lot. But in that kind of dismantling of all of these different parts of ourselves, I can't say we did it very gracefully back then. But we got through it.
We are here.
Yes, right. We absolutely are here. It was a letting go of all of these identities of what I thought I had to be. Yeah. Because again, life was so serious, right? Yeah. And so even the idea of declaring bankruptcy, scariest freaking thing in the world, to go, oh, I've got all of this debt and I can't pay it off, and I'm an awful human being. Yeah. Like, it's only the really bad people who do this. And the funny thing is once you get to the other side of it, it's funny because our first episode of this season was talking about taking the leap, right, off the cliff. Yeah, and we're kind of ending with the same scenario where taking that leap, going into bankruptcy. scary as shit. It's losing all of those identities. You get down on yourself. You feel ashamed. You feel so embarrassed, and you're judging yourself. And you kind of start to judge your relationship with money too, like how you haven't figured this out or whatever. But what it ended up doing for myself anyways, and perhaps for you too, you can reflect on it, was I became more aware of how I was using money to comfort myself or using money to distract myself.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to face that money self in the mirror and look at her and like, okay, let's figure this out together and come up with a plan.
Yeah, my views on that are a little bit different. I mean, it made me more conscious of things to a certain degree, but I've never had like worry. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, you're very nonchalant with money.
I think, in the beginning when we first started dating, it was like everything just came as it needed. And so I started to be, just have that trust that it will be provided.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if it's not, if we can't do this or we can't do that, that's okay. Whatever. We're here.
Yeah.
And we have this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And really, that was the beginning of my manifesting journey, right? It was like, because I had just watched The Secret in that time period too. And it was like, oh, so we just need to focus on what we want and we can create that. And we ended up manifesting, calling in, whatever you want to call it, a lot of different really cool experiences that were free or low cost or
we
whatever.
Got creative, right? We got curious of what was around. We were, we looked at different things and different ways, which brought joy to us.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I know we talked about this a little bit on our last podcast, where it was like, those little things, and I'll oversimplify it, but it's that mindfulness activities. Yeah. You can change an ordinary task just by changing your mindset about that task.
Yeah.
And that goes for going for a walk, going downtown, or going to a park. You can make it the best time ever.
Yeah.
You are the one that chooses that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, like when you talk about like acting from joy, that energy of acting from joy stays with that curiosity, right? Mm-hmm. Because now it's, doing the dishes is joyful. And how curious is it that I can do the dishes and stay joyful? What else can I stay joyful in? And you're just in this kind of brand new mindset. You watch kids, and kids are so great at just like following their joy. You're like, they'll start singing and dancing and playing a dinosaur or roaring or whatever it is that they do. If they want to do it, they're just doing it.
Yeah.
They're acting from their joy. They're naturally very curious people. We are. Yes, we are.
We just forget that we are kids.
Yes, we think we get to a certain age and we're supposed to know everything.
Well, and we have to follow what the standard is.
Yeah.
And this is how you're supposed to act, and these are the things you're supposed to do because they said it.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't got it 100% perfect.
Yeah.
Really, there's no... Perfect is the experience that you're having.
Yeah.
And we can't... We got to stop. That's another thing we need to stop doing, is comparing ourselves to everybody else's experience. And just going, no, I can do this. Not because he did it before me.
Yeah.
Because I want to do it. Because, I want to have this experience.
Yeah.
How many people have said that, later on, I wish I had help. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. We were just talking earlier today about different styles of clothing and whatever. And, you were like, I wish I had done this, or I wish I'd
wanted to
tried on, whatever different style, whether it's punk, goth, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? And that's my reply was, well,
You can do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I find we do limit ourselves. We get very, especially as we get older, right? As a child, we're just like, I'm going to wear this dress and I'm going to do my hair like this and I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance and whatever. And there is a certain age, and I don't remember what age it was for me. I imagine somewhere in my teenage years where it's like, I know everything. I don't need to be curious about things. This is the way life is. And I started to live my life by a book of invisible rules that I had collected throughout my life and went, this is how a proper human being functions.
Yeah.
And it was such bullshit. Do you know what I mean? I mean, is there some truth to it? Yeah, sure. You've got to eat your vegetables. You've got to eat your fruits. I get that, you know? But there were so many rules that were not actually very helpful or like expansive for me as a human being, is what I will say.
Yeah, and here's the thing with rules and labels. It fits for some, but not for all. This is why we have so many labels now as well, right? Because it doesn't fit for everybody, doesn't mean it has to fit for anybody. This is these rules and the laws and they're guidelines, yes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have to be your experience.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can follow your own path. You don't, we worry so much about what other people think and you declared bankruptcy or you lost your job or who are we worried about in this scenario?
I know, it's always about like the others, right?
What will they think?
Yes.
And it's like, no, turn that off.
Yeah.
And enjoy your experience here.
Yes.
Don't worry about if everybody's... Sure, I care if you're enjoying your experience and kids and family and whatnot. But I need to show you guys how to enjoy your experience.
Yeah.
How do I enjoy my experience, then maybe gives you the permission to enjoy your experience.
Yes. Well, and I think it's so curious too. And here's the thing. I know I've judged people and how they're experiencing life or how they're expressing in their life. Yes, we all do. And what I've gotten curious about over the last, I'd say year and a half is like, what part of me believed that they shouldn't be having that experience? Like, really, who am I to say this is how you're supposed to be, because I've got this idea in my mind that this is who you are and this is how you're supposed to express. So if you go against that, now I'm mad at you that you're not expressing the way I want you to. Like,
yeah, and in that, it's more of a question that we should be saying, well, why? Well, what made you choose that? You know what I mean? So this is you chose to wear a hat with, I don't know, all these colors or whatever. What made you choose your style? Get curious about what put that person on this type of path or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also, why not just celebrate them? Wow, well, that's a great hat you're wearing.
That too.
That's fantastic. And also, I would never wear it. Well, shouldn't I get curious about that?
Yeah.
Why would I never wear a hat that is whatever? Or, I've had people say, oh, I could never get up and sing in front of people. Let's get curious about that. Why not? Right? Do we have to be a perfect singer in order to sing? Do we need to be a perfect artist in order to paint? Do we need to know...
Yeah, and it's a whole part of don't do it for the performance, right?
Yeah.
Don't do it for the audience. Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Do it for your experience, adding to the collective experience.
Yeah.
But it's you that get to, and so what? If you wear a hat and people laugh, at least you brought joy to somebody's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not out there to always be so serious. It's really just, we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. And for myself, it really is about, I guess I just want to try and celebrate, and I'm trying to be more intentional about celebrating all of the different expressions that I get to see from people and to see all of their different unique points of view on life, their different unique experiences that they're bringing to the table, whether it's the clothes that they, that's the other thing too. And it's kind of embarrassing, but, I didn't realize how much judgment I still held over the way people dressed, right? And there was what some people would consider to be fashionable. And I was like, no, that's not fashionable at all. And it's literally been in the past couple of months. And this is where I go, that's embarrassing that it's taken me this long. Because I would be judging what people are wearing as like in fashion or not in fashion or whatever. It's not like I dress as the most fashionable person. So who am I to judge what other people are wearing? But also, why am I even judging it in the first place? Like, I don't have to be a fashion expert to just not judge. It's like when I'm choosing clothes, I'm choosing clothes because I like the way they look on me. I like the color of them, or I like the way they feel on my body, the flow on my body, or whatever. There's something that I like about it. But I wasn't giving anyone else that same permission, right? And it's not like I was going, why are you wearing that? I wasn't doing that, and I thought that was good because that's what I learned from others, was that's what you do. And I was like, oh, I broke that. But in my mind, I was still going, why would she wear that with that? Like,
and see, I was always like, well, that's an interesting way to express yourself. Okay. I never looked at somebody and go, okay, I may not wear that.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, when I started getting tattoos and piercings and all this stuff, it was, I'm expressing myself. These are clothes that are things that I can't remove, but it's an expression of me. Yeah. And I think that people do that with clothing and makeup and all this.
Absolutely.
And I'm not, I won't judge people, but I will be like, it's an interesting way to express yourself. It makes me curious as to, how people express themselves. And like with our kids, you can see the different expressions and the different influence that comes up, and how that they start changing their expressions. But I also wonder outside, like friends and coworkers and whatnot, like, what made you express yourself this way? Why do you express yourself this way? Yeah. And, we can spend time with whoever, this, that, to figure those things out. But I think the key there is that's what they're doing. They're expressing themselves. Yes. And there's no judgment that's needed, right? It's
exactly. Everybody's got their own unique style and their own unique way of, dressing their bodies or whatever. Which I've known, but it was just like a real curiosity that came up for me, where I was like, and why haven't I just seen all of this as just beautiful attire that people are wearing? Like, and celebrating that. So
yeah, I mean, we have to break free of, and we have to break free of the past prisons.
Absolutely.
Where it is not just from our upbringing, it's our parents and our grandparents and going back.
Yeah, society itself. And,
right. Yeah. Where it's like, this is proper, that is not proper, you should do this way, and, in this family, whatever, you name it. Yeah. We do have to break free of that. Yeah. To be able to go, yeah, you know what? Yeah. I don't need to. I know I was judged. I don't need to do that to somebody else.
Well, exactly. And for myself, it was like, and I think we always have to be very cautious, where we sometimes have these invisible prisons. Mm-hmm. That we did not even recognize we were looking out of an invisible prison, right? It looked like, oh, I'm free. I don't tell people what they should be wearing. I don't tell people I don't like their clothes if I don't like them or whatever. Yeah. But the invisible prison was, I was still classifying things as that's good to wear, that's not good to wear, that's good, and making an assumption of a person based on the clothes that they were wearing, where it's like, you don't have a fucking clue as to who this person is. And just because they look artsy doesn't mean that they are artsy, or just because they look tough doesn't mean that they're tough, So it was just such an interesting awareness of, wow, I still had this judgmental lens that was on, and I just bring it forward now because, yeah.
Well, and it's a great thing is that, everybody has a story. Yeah. And everybody's got an expression, everybody's got a prison, and it's just seeing that in everybody and remembering that when you're approaching somebody, is they have all of these things that we're talking about, and they're still moving and functioning throughout the day, and it's that complex thing that we are.
Yes, right. We're constantly unfolding, and we're constantly able to express and that's how I want to live my life. Like, I want to be that 100-year-old woman who's still learning new skills and stuff, and everybody's like, aren't you gonna slow down? And it's like, no, I'm just here to experience, and I'm gonna do all the things that I want to do. Or like Rose from the Titanic, when she went and she did all the different dreams that she had after he had passed and stuff. That's the kind of life that I want to live, you know. And I think it's interesting too. As you were just talking there about people and their expressions and whatnot, I remember people saying to me, like, when you and I first got together, where they were like, "Oh, he's got tattoos and he's got piercings. That doesn't seem like your type, right?" And it's like, well, I don't even know really what my type is, but I like him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or when I would go to, get a tattoo or whatever, well, that doesn't seem like something you would do. And it's like, we can accidentally get fit into a mold that other people have claimed us to be, but unless...
Or we put ourselves into that mold, right?
Yes, because I was a person who didn't have tattoos for the majority of my life. But again, it's that curiosity. Well, could I be that kind of person? Well, why not? Right? Can I give this a try and just see, does this fit? Yeah. I know you talk about having no labels, but it's like, how many labels can I slap on myself? I can be this, well, I can be brown, I can be blue, I can be violet sky. It's like, we can be everything.
Even limitless is a label.
Yes.
But I'd rather it be that label than something specific.
Yeah.
Right? I would rather be open to whatever the experience is than to name it. And this is what I have to do. And this is the way it's done. Because everybody before me said, this is how you have to follow this path.
Yeah. I kind of, I just realized I want to be like the Costco of people. Right? Where you can come to me and everything's just available. Like, that I've got some knowledge around science, and I've got some knowledge around health, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and because I don't want to live my life as just, this is all I am. I want to be able to experience and to find out what else am I beyond what I already knew myself to be. So
yeah, and I'm very much the same way, where I don't want to limit this experience. I want it to be what it needs to be.
Yeah.
But I don't want it just to be. I don't want to close my doors to any experience.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Well, it's like, try it once.
Yeah.
And either you like it or you don't. And awesome. Okay, we tried it. We got to see what was it like. That's a yay or it's a nay, or maybe it's a, well, that was kind of nice, but I didn't like this part, or whatever, So yeah, I don't know. I'm finding it more enjoyable to be living in a curious kind of energy.
And the more that I encompass that limitlessness, it's like the energy is there. Your body will, it will go. This avatar will continue to go.
Yeah.
You just got to push it. Yes, you might get tired, it might get sore, it might get whatever, but it will continue to go. You just got to keep reiterating that. No, you are limitless. Don't shut this down. Don't worry about what this is saying. Yes, this hurts, this, whatever. That's a story that's playing out because somebody else told you, if you do this and you do this work and you do too much, you're going to have a sore, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You got to shut that down, block that out, and continue on. Push and keep pushing.
Well, and we just had a big example of this on the weekend.
Yeah.
We were redoing our deck last weekend, but specifically on Friday, you had taken the day off. I had gone for a hike in the morning, and then I helped you with the deck for the rest of the day. And by the time Friday night came, it was like 9:00 at night. So I had been working on it for 10 hours at that point. You had been working on the deck since 6 a.m. that morning.
Yep.
So it was a 13-hour day for you. And when we were done, it was kind of like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to move tomorrow because our knees were sore, our backs were sore, shoulders were like everything was sore. And as we were laying in bed, I think it was when we were laying in bed, I believe I said, if I could walk again after finishing a day on the Camino, then I can absolutely wake up tomorrow and keep doing this.
Yeah.
And it was such a reminder that I can go to bed with a sore body, but I'm so limitless that I can wake up in the morning and I can keep going forward. And what did we do in the morning when we woke up? We were able to just keep going.
Yeah.
And specifically, you finished Excite Clients, but still, you were able to finish the deck and whatnot. And I don't think your body was completely sore. Yes, it was sore, but...
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't buy into that. Yes, okay, there's this, whatever. Trying to not shut it out, because here's the thing, you don't want to go against that pain, right?
Yeah.
You've
got to listen to it.
Accept it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it has to stop you.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of that now is, I can't do this because I got a bad back. No, you can do this. You just need to, forget that you have a bad back.
Yeah. Or adjust this activity to meet that level.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, you can do it within these parameters.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, more and more I'm like, I want to push this avatar. I want to push this experience to the limitlessness.
Yeah. Well, and I think a big piece of that for you was turning 50 this year. And there's a lot of language that people have around turning 50 and what it means to get older. And
everything's downhill. And I'm like, no, everything is going the other way.
Yeah.
Because this is like a rebirth. This is not, the downside of life. This is the other way. I'm not buying into what everybody says about
age.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I think is such an important way to look at it. And it's an important thing for me to tell myself as well as I'm getting older, and I'm going to be going into menopause at some point soon and whatnot. And again, there's a lot of stories that are told around that about how rageful I'm going to get and how angry I'm going to get and all of this stuff. But it's like, but if I meet my anger now, if I allow myself to express it now, is it possible to go through menopause without having the rageful reactions? I understand there's a lot of hormonal stuff that's happening that I don't have control over.
Yeah.
However, if this has been every woman's experience thus far, and if the reason is because she's lost the ability to just tolerate the shit she once tolerated, what if I just meet my anger before I cross that bridge?
Yeah. And here's the thing. That was their experience, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily your experience.
Yeah.
And that's another one that I'm like, yes, so this is how they say it is going to be. No, I'm not. This is how I'm going to have it.
Yeah.
This is how I want to experience, and this is the experience that is going to unfold.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that would be staying in that curiosity too, right? Where it's like not getting that definitive answer of this is what life looks like at 50 for a man, or this is what life looks like as for a postmenopausal woman or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going, so that's a part of the experience, or that could be the experience.
That was somebody's experience.
Let me get curious about how this experience is going to be for me. And then also, how can I move through it? Sometimes based on other people's experiences, right? Because we've had women going through menopause for all of eternity. We've got some information as to
They're
how to
great
support that.
goalposts, right? They're great rules, they're great bumpers, however you want to look at it. But it doesn't have to follow that same trajectory to the 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Always stay curious.
Yeah. And just keep yourself open to whatever those possibilities are. It's much easier.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what you're shutting down. You don't know what you're, that next great thing that you wanted that was so far away could be just beyond that little piece. And all you have to do is shift one way or another and have that experience.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of something, try it. At least try it.
Yeah.
Have the experience.
Yeah.
If there's something that you've always wanted to do your whole life, then do it.
Yeah.
At least try it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
change it a little bit, change it a little bit this way. Like,
Yeah.
we're here to have this joyous experience.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not worry, stress, have anxiety, talk about, wars and who's pissed off about this or who's pissed off about that. We need to let that go and just be concerned about our experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And if you're concerned about things like, where will I get the money to do these things that I want to do, or what will people think, or I can't because I have kids, like, remembering these are all just limitations that we've been taught that are supposed to be holding us back. But in my experience, anytime I've taken a leap on something that I want that required more money, it's like as soon as I say yes to it, the money starts to show up. Every person that I've been afraid, what are they going to think? They are either supporting me or they're hijacking themselves out of my life so quickly that it's like, why did I even care what they thought about in the first place? Right? Like, it's, I've never been completely broken by any of the things that I have gotten that strong yes for. Those things that I've been called towards, I've never been broken by it. I've only become more alive because of it.
Yeah, and here's the thing with my limitless theory. You hear a lot of people talk about, and I don't know who originally said it, but you have to match that frequency that you want to be, or to manifest whatever. You have to be at a certain frequency and a certain level to match that. If what I want is just this open experience of these great things, and I have the mindset of everything and I am limitless,
Yeah.
I am not closing the door to any experience, good, bad, indifferent, but I know only the best will match this energy. Everything is, there's limits, right?
Yeah.
To those experiences.
Yeah.
There is no limit.
Yeah.
Therefore, whatever is going to be will resonate with me because I am limitless.
Yeah.
And you need to be excited. Yeah, and it absolutely does need to match. You're right. You will be able to have that money. You'll be able to have that thing.
Yeah.
If you are in that same frequency.
Yeah.
But let go of all the limiting factors.
Yeah.
And you'll start aligning better with the things that you want to do.
And I think that's the key piece, is you're letting go of the limiting factors, right? And just going, okay, because even if it's showing up as like, oh, this is a thing right now, it's like, this can be a thing, but I can be beyond it. If I am a limitless being, this thing is just a small limitation, but I'm limitless, so I'm beyond whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to stay in that trust, which is difficult, I know.
Oh, it's 100%. It is that trust and that faith that it is.
Yeah.
And you can't see the energy. You can't see God. You can't see the you can see so far in the universe, but it's there. You know all of this stuff is there.
Yeah.
So you can trust it.
Yeah.
But you have to trust it. You have to unwavering trust and faith that this is my path.
Yeah. And I would invite you, if you do have things that are showing up that is making it hard for you to trust, or hard for you to believe that you're going to be able to get to this thing that you want or whatever, to just allow yourself to get curious, to go like, I wonder why in a world that's designed to, help me live out my divine plan, why would this be showing up? Like, if you think of like a movie that has, maybe a yellow car in the background on every fourth screen or whatever, it's like, why is the director doing that? And then it turns out at the end that the yellow car is like so significant to the story. Or the one episode of How I Met Your Mother when, I don't remember the guy's name in the show, his dad dies. Yeah. And we were seeing a countdown that was happening. It was like 49, 48, 47. And when it got to 1, it's when he found out that his dad died. But I was like so blown away by all of these numbers that were happening on the screen, and we were looking for them.
And we went through this just in our own lives when we started reflecting on things and was like, oh, this breadcrumbs, folks, are there.
Yeah.
The breadcrumbs are there. We're
Yeah.
just not looking.
Yeah. So if you can stay curious, and if there's these things that are showing up that you're like, I don't know why this is showing up right now. Let me get curious. Like, what is the big reveal that the universe is going to give me that I've got a person showing up right now who's really pissing me off? Let me get curious
And where
about
has this
it.
happened before? And where did the breadcrumbs lead to this? And
Yeah. Because it's always working in our favor. And we forget that because we have an idea of how it's supposed to work. So then we think it's not working in my favor because it's not how I said it was going to be.
right, and it's that ownership of this journey, right?
Yeah.
This is my life. This is the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
Let's be less serious and more curious
Yes.
of just how this is going to unfold without having that serious piece to it.
Yeah. Let life be fun again.
Yes.
So, on that note, thank you everybody for joining us here for another episode of The Sacred Exchange, the last episode of season 2. We will be back here again in September with brand new episodes, updated versions of ourselves,
Absolutely.
and we'll see where next year leads. So, thank you everyone. Enjoy your summer.
Yes, thank you everyone. Enjoy your summer. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We will be posting content randomly
Yeah.
throughout the summer and whatnot. Maybe some of our adventures and journeys and things that we get up to. But
Yeah.
don't forget to check us out. And yeah, we'll be back next season. Bigger, better, and
Limitless. Yes. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Take care.